of what PDC TV provides. This is day 4 of the PDC Autumn Series. We've got one more day tomorrow to come. Paul, who do you make as favourite?
100.
Probably have to go for Cullen. Just shading it, but you have to look at the stats for the day, which make puzzling reading for Cullen.
80.
Because you don't often say this on a Pro Tour day, Dan. His average improved from match 1 to match 2 by 28 points. 80 average to 108.
95.
Whatever happened in between match 1 and 2, he's figured something out. If he keeps that going, I think he might be too strong.
Well, look, he beat Stefan Seaman,
100.
and he did beat him 6-1 despite that 80 average. It was a 6-2 victory against Kirk Shepherd with the 108.5. So he's only lost 3 legs so far today.
99.
Yeah, I've been impressed with Joe this week. And it would have been a very interesting
97.
conversation with him after that final against Heta, because he may have seen that as a huge opportunity to get back in the winner's circle and for the first time have wins in consecutive seasons.
140.
Still has many opportunities, of course, including today. But Cross seems to be figuring something out. He's making micro changes
180.
to his equipment to try and sort the balance of the dart out. He has a metallic bottom to the stem and a plastic top to it, which is just putting a bit more weight to the middle of the setup. It's worked so far in this one. But he does have that little bit of an angle on the board, which obscures the bottom part of the double 8 there.
51.
That was a tricky shot.
I was surprised that he moved the direction that he did on the oche, to be honest. Cullen, double 16.
Game shot.
And that is absolutely textbook Joe Cullen. When this lad gets it right, he gets it so very, very right. 1-0, break a throw, and the Yorkshireman holds the advantage against the man from Sussex.
96.
Even though there is a bit of movement in the body of Joe Cullen with every dart is exactly the same. That's why he's so good. Some of the players that are falling down right now, and I've made this point about Michael Smith earlier, is that his third dart is different to darts 1 and 2. You see that lateral movement of
96.
Joe Cullen left and right as you see that camera facing him. But it's the same with all 3 arrows.
Yeah, and look, there are players
41.
out there who, when you look at them, you think, well, there's a lot that could go wrong with that throw. I think a lot of people thought that about Nathan Aspinall. And yet nothing's gone wrong with it for the last 2 years, because he's right up there as one of the best players in the world right now.
Timing, that's what it's all about. Look at Peter Manley. He had 1 thumb and 1
53.
finger on the barrel. He had 1 foot on the floor, but the timing was good. Mensah-Suljovic, timing.
Absolutely.
96.
Well, certainly you mentioned it's the same with all 3 darts. The rhythm of Joe Cullen is absolutely hypnotic at times. It's just the same process for every single dart. Rob Cross, not like that as a player. You see Rob Cross stop and pause, and doesn't seem to affect him. Well, 33 off, leaves 41, and that leaves his favourite double 16.
Game shot.
And he pins it, and he is 2 from 2 on his doubles, Joe Cullen. And that is when Joe Cullen starts putting in the monster averages. And it is not a rare thing, particularly on the European Tour.
134.
Because Joe Cullen is one of the most regular in terms of guys who will bang in enormous 107, 108 plus averages. And he usually does it in his second or third round game, gets through to the final session of the Euro Tour, and for so long it would stop in the quarters or the semis. Last year he got over the line. It was here in Germany, won his first European Tour title. About time too.
140.
I'd say out of all of the players in the 128 who have tour cards, and of course the guys outside of that particular bracket, the 2 that will have missed the European Tour the most are Michael van Gerwen and Joe Cullen.
Yep.
Because they enjoy it that much.
And it's where they play their best stuff, often. Look, Michael van Gerwen plays brilliantly all over the place. But Joe Cullen, it's been a big, big part. I mean, Simon Whitlock, over the last 2 years, that's where he's made most of his money.
Good call.
Another in there to kickstart the voltage campaign here.
145.
Cullen will look at the bullseye himself. He looks again. Oh, that was close. Cross with heart in mouth. Remove said heart and hit 25. Double 8 was not his friend last time. No
17.
pause on the third dart there. That surprised me. And Cullen's getting chances that he maybe doesn't deserve. That's a micro step to the right. Well, more than a micro step. That's a big step.
Game shot.
What a wonderful step. This guy can dance and throw at the same time.
3-0, double break, 102 average for Joe Cullen. And look at some of the displays he's put in over the course of the autumn series. That one against Stefan Seatman, a complete outlier. He has not seen his average drop below 90 at all in the autumn series, apart from that game. But he's had 110 against Gurney, 103 against Gerwyn Price, 103 against Steve Lennon, that 108 against Kirk Shepherd in the game leading up to this one. He has been hitting big stuff, and there's loads of stuff in the mid-90s range, which is where his B game, and it's winning in matches. He's had a final, a last 16.
96.
And win this, and he'll add another last 16. And I tell you what, the way that he's playing, Joe Cullen knows how to win these titles. And when he's focused, admitted in lockdown, he's been lazy.
180.
There's been a few players who have admitted that.
He's
79.
very honest, Joe Cullen, in his interviews, and he's quite refreshing. But he says, look, I'll admit, I've been lazy. I was making, a couple of years ago, quarterfinals of the match play, semi-finals of the European Championship. I thought, I've made this. I don't, you know, I don't have to, I'm Joe Cullen. Stuff will happen. I'm that good. But he's realised that if you don't put the work in, you don't put the graft in, good things don't happen.
Double 16. It's the bottom left corner again. This
Game
time
shot.
it is fruitful as Cross gets his first leg of the contest. But just to go back to your point, you had a very interesting conversation with Peter Wright on your podcast, and I got an honourable mention. And I think the topic was very interesting, that when you are playing well, continue to play well. Don't take your foot off the gas. That is a mistake that I made, and I didn't make that mistake again. I just didn't have the same hot streak. So if Cullen is playing like this, play everything.
Play everything. Make hay while the sun shines. Look, this year's weird. There have been fewer opportunities, and I think most players are grabbing every opportunity to play. No, Harry Ward wants to quit, and he's still here. But
43.
If you hit a hot streak and you are playing well, you come into form, then play in everything you can. You know, somebody can turn up at the autumn series
59.
here, and if they are in top form for a week, it's not just 2 Players' Championship events over a weekend, it's 5. You could put yourself from nowhere into the World Grand Prix, into the World Championship. Joe Cullen pins a second 180, but Rob Cross is still in charge of this leg. His average is now over 100, Rob Cross.
81.
He was very much a spectator for the first sort of 2 or 3 legs of this. But now he's playing an active role in it. And it's good to see, because Rob Cross is a special player, but he's been having the toughest year of his professional career. Admittedly short professional career.
Cullen's made a huge error there by leaving a bogey number.
40.
But it's key for me in that moment that Cullen was not telling himself off or getting too flustered. He's remaining focused.
93.
Eyes on the prize, which is a spot in the next round. Cross could have left this a bit handier, but the approach is good. 2 for double 12. If he misses on the outside, it should be a guide. Drastically in.
51.
And that one's on the out. And this now from Cullen would be thievery.
Another 20. We'll leave the double 16. He's been very good at this.
Game shot.
And he continues to be good at this. Flawless, in fact, on double 16. And Rob Cross will be kicking himself because he was in charge of that leg and he let it squirm away. And Cullen's perfection on double 16 earns him a 4-1 lead. 2 more legs needed for Cullen to record his 5th win against Rob Cross.
180.
It would tie things up in the head-to-head records.
140.
Well, it's winner stays on, Dan, because whoever wins this will stay on this board.
Oh,
to
really?
play either Matt Edgar or Peter Wright. And I can
57.
confirm that that is now 4-3 Wright. It was 3-all just now, but Wright has just taken leg 7. So it's not a foregone conclusion for the world champ.
140.
I tell a lie, they're going to the next stream board.
57.
Ah,
I
okay,
was
so
getting
you
too
will
weak.
get to see. Yeah.
I'm too eager to see these play again, you see.
That's all right. You can float between them. You can go and commentate on that one.
96.
All the Pro Tour events, the Players' Championship, and the European Tour. Normally, we'd have 13 Euro Tour events a year and 30 Players' Championships. All of them you can watch on PDC TV.
171.
The 171 to go with the 180 in this leg from Joe Cullen. Still, Rob Cross gets a look, but he can do this. He can do this on the ball. It's a lucky miss, that first dart.
100.
And he very nearly plucks it out.
Well, close behind 32. Joe
Game
likes
shot.
36. He likes everything on the outer ring right now because he is bossing this one in true Cullen style. Doesn't practice a lot of doubles because he doesn't want mental scarring on them. Just likes to focus on
99.
getting the rhythm right. It's clicking right now.
Well, 102 average plays, 99 average. Rob Cross has not been poor. Joe Cullen has just been excellent.
58.
This is by far and away the only one-sided
60.
game going on right now. Everything else is pretty much close. Apart from now, Ryan Searle, who has just gone 5-2 up on Glenn Durrant.
Oh, Does has come back from that before already today in his first
44.
round game. Somehow beat Adrian Gray. And you know he's not going to give up, but Jose de Sousa's in trouble against Jermaine Watamena, trailing 5-4. This is a
97.
tournament which Michael van Goen will not win because he has been beaten by Devon Peterson. When I say beaten, I mean battered, because Big Dev has whitewashed the world #1 by 6 legs
140.
to 0. MVG will not win today as he did yesterday. But Peter Wright,
85.
Damon Heta and MVG winning the first 3 events here at the Autumn Series. Will we see a 4th winner in 4 days? Could it be one of these two? Tops.
140.
Seems to be floating between 2 different rhythms going for the doubles. The step back sometimes, and other
54.
occasions he's staying within the throw.
Game shot.
Well, there we go. Rob Cross, a more comfortable leg. It's exactly what he needed, but the way that Cullen is playing, you don't anticipate that Rob Cross is going to be able to win the next 4 legs
60.
without Cullen missing match darts at some point. I may be wrong. I mean, look, right now, Rob Cross's average is slightly higher than that of Joe Cullen. Look at the averages. Doesn't look like a 5-2 game, but Cullen has been so good on double 16 that when the chances have been there, they've just gone.
97.
Jose de Sousa is out. That's one of the top seeds gone. Jermaine Watamena, a 6-4 winner there. Could we see Peter Snakebite Wright, the overall top seed, go out? Because Matt Edgar is taking the game to him. And
57.
if anybody's aware, Matt Edgar has beaten Gary Anderson on the tour this year.
Has he?
Yeah, he won it with he had a big checkout or something. I'm
Oh.
sure if you go on
134.
the internet, he will have told you. Unfortunately, I think 85% of the internet is now made up of Matt Edgar declaring that he beat Gary Anderson with a 170 checkout.
News to me. I haven't heard that before.
85.
Gerwin Price 5-3 up on Damon Heta. Matt Edgar is now 5-4 on Peter Wright. Within about half an hour, the 3 winners in the Autumn Series, Michael van
140.
Goen, Peter Wright and Damon Heta, they could all go out of the tournament.
You're
Rob
right, Dan.
Cross.
If he wins that game, we will never hear the end of it.
Well, imagine if he won the whole tournament.
100.
But it looks like Rob Cross is about to join some other high-profile casualties in going out of Players' Championship 17, because double 4 for Joe Cullen
66.
would have completed a 6-2 win. but 2-match darts are missed.
That transition from double 8 to double 4 always looks a bit awkward for me, for Joe Cullen, because of that body movement. I think he would be wise in future to maybe take a reset like Rob Cross and go for the other side of the board. But the double 2 is good, and he does take that victory of 6 legs to 2. Looking pretty good. And he has to be one of the favourites to take the title today, with other people going by the wayside. Stick with us on Stream 1 if you want to see more action. We will be, of course, having more action on Stream 2 as well. So have your choice and come back with us in about 5 minutes. We'll see you soon.